Skip again. This is part of a series. This particular topic is on brand management, and it is an overview. And the whole series on affiliate marketing is designed to give you that overview that says this is what you would expect to be looking at, and this is what you expect in affiliate marketing. All the elements that you need to be aware of or consider, and much of which you have to really become pretty good at, pretty much an expert on certain subjects. To be successful online, 96% of the people who try it online fail. Simply, straight up, they just fail. Now, these 4% that actually make it, you want to be one of the 4%. So by giving you this overview, whether you're brand new to this or you've been struggling for a long time and trying to figure out how to break through and make it happen, this is going to give you an overview of the elements necessary to make affiliate marketing really work. So it's a really important note. And one of the video that I'm doing right now is probably one of the most important that I can do in the entire series. So watch to the end. And by the way, all of these details that I'm going to be covering throughout all of these videos, and I'm trying to keep them all short and concise. You want to take notes on them, but all of these things amount to that which you really have to understand is a part of this thing, and are going to take you some time to work on. And it is all covered, by the way. To simplify, it is all covered in a 30-session program called the 4% Challenge. I'll make some links to that and whatnot. You'll hear me refer to it, but I can condense all of this stuff into a training program by the end of which you will be a different person, you will be in a different position, and you can go forward and become really dominate online marketing in your particular space. So that's being said, let's talk about brands. And brand management. Okay, brand management is probably one of the central things that most people miss when they get into online marketing, and they never become recognizable. The fact is that effective brand management means that you yourself become the brand, and here's where you have to believe in yourself. You have to kind of, walk away from your image of yourself as an hourly employee, as a whatever it is that your occupation doesn't really define you. You can define your own occupation. In this case, you can become the brand. There's plenty available to help you understand the element of what it is to become a brand, but it is so important. I would call this the example. Amazon is a great example of a brand. Now, yeah, they have some products and whatnot, but that's evolved over time. But the fundamental reality is they're a brand. A brand that, in their position, they're really a broker. What they do is they bring in people who have products to sell, and then they connect other people to come in and buy from them. You are a connector. Amazon is a connector. As a connector, you become a source, and you need to be a reliable source relative to what people can turn to and know that what they're going to get is a quality product and somebody behind it that's knowledgeable. So brand, the first element here is the fact that brand is personal. And you have to look at yourself because you're becoming the brand, and what you do to evolve yourself and to build your own skills and your own reliability. It reminds me of that the store, little store on the street with a sign in the window that says hiring salespeople must look honest. So this is going to be more than just looks. You have to understand that if you're going to give this an honest effort and really work to provide a valued service, that what you have to do is you have to do it with integrity, and you have to create a brand that demonstrates that integrity. So these are all very important parts of the brand, and there's training, by the way, on the elements that it takes to get there to recognize. Really, really important. So let's look at the relatable image. You have to be relatable. There's so many people, I don't care who you are, what your personality is. Now you're going to evolve a little bit because you're going to work on some things. And this is also a self-improvement program if you really think about it. So you're going to, you want to be relatable. And the reality is that you have a story. And whatever your story is, there's going to be people that will relate to it, and not just a few. I'm talking millions of people that can relate to who you are. And when you present yourself confidently and you have knowledge, you can do that. And by the way, in relatable, this also means that you're going to have a hub, a website, that is that central location where you're going to demonstrate all of this. And in that, you have to be relatable in the images that you project through your website. So that's a bit on the technical side of it and how you would approach it. But that personal part of it, where you become a story and you develop some confidence and you develop some skills along the way, it is going to take those things. 96% of the people who tried this online failed flat out. You want to be one of the 4%, and there is guidance and assistance to help you get there and learn a few things in terms of what you need to know. And this is all part of it. Let's talk about trustworthiness. Part of this whole thing is becoming a person who is trustworthy in what you do. So you have to, it's the old say what you mean what you say, be prepared to follow through. And then with that confidence, and by the way, how you see yourself and how you present yourself is a big part of this. If you're confident and you're speaking from the heart and you're passionate about what you do, that emotes trustworthiness. You can tell a phony. It doesn't take much to tell a phony. But if you're being real, and if you're trying to be somebody you're not, and if you're doing videos, which are a big part of marketing, if you're doing some of those things, don't try to go on and do something other than who you are. Be yourself. Be real. In trustworthiness, part of that is to have knowledge, be knowledgeable. Take the time to be knowledgeable on what you're doing. Look at it, investigate it, do a little research online, Google it, whatever. There's some areas where you may not be all that familiar with, but get familiar with it. See, here's the thing, and I've mentioned this in so many videos, but I can't tell you how many business people I've talked to over the last, 9-10 years. All of whom want to do more. They want to do better. They want to improve their situation. So I'll ask them if you could take 6 months to a year, working either part-time along with it or whatever else you do, or full-time, however you do it, 6 months to a year period, and study some things. And from studying those things, set yourself up so that the rest of your life you'd never have to worry about finances. You'd make choices in life, and it'd be a totally different life, and live the life that you really want to live. Would you do it? Would you spend that 6 months to a year? Everybody says yes. Everybody just automatically says yes. Well, you can say yes to that. And there is a format and a training program that we offer that will help you get there. So believe in yourself, become knowledgeable on a subject, and lay that groundwork, and it's amazing what you can accomplish. The other thing is personal availability. You have to be available to people. Now, there's the idea that you are available to respond to people, yes. But there's also that availability of who you are. Some people are so closed off they don't want to communicate. They don't want to open themselves up. But if you're available to people, and if you're open and you're real, and maybe a stretch for you, but it's worth getting the skill to do this because, again, you're part of that brand. You're going to draw people in. The whole idea is you don't want to sell to people, but you do want to buy people to buy from you. Big difference. If you're going on and you're pushing people into something, that's not as effective as the ability to create a scenario where you literally pull them in and you have qualities that are attractive and people will buy from you. So it's the difference between push and pull. So personal availability and how you present yourself is a big part of that. Secure transaction confidence. People want to know that their transactions are going to be covered. And there's ways that you can set in your website that you can set yourself up to be a secure brand, and the HTTPS as a secure indication of security for your site versus an HTTP by itself. And there's things like that that are technical. But on the other side of that is the confidence. People have confidence in you that what they do in their transactions are going to be secure with that. Again, that goes back to the trust thing. It all kind of works together. Easy to define. You can be just, some people can be so confusing because they haven't really rehearsed what they are, what they want to accomplish or what they want to communicate. You want to do what you do in a way that can easily be defined. Have you ever heard of the elevator speech? The elevator speech is the sort of 30-second presentation that defines who you are, what you do, and what you're all about. And where your priorities are, where your passions are. You can do that in a 30-second presentation in most cases. So know how to break it down so that you can clearly communicate and people can, and you clearly define who you are. And it's easy for people when they look into your website and they check you out. It's very easy for them to pick up on who you are and translate that. The other thing is creative solutions. You know, nothing wrong with a little bit of creativity, and a little research online can help you with that. Get some examples. Look at some of the examples of how others have presented themselves, material that they use, images that they use, and whatnot. Don't be afraid to step outside of the box. And if everything you do is just, you know, rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp, there's nothing authentic about it or original. You know, look to examples that can help you apply your personality and create an end result. You know, I put together images that are not just snapshot images of whatever, but I take a little time with them and make sure that they're images that are going to be a little bit unique or different than others. So as you start to research images and whatnot, you can kind of get a feel for how that works. So those are some of the elements under. I think I've just hit the 10-minute mark. So I'll be on to the next video, but I want this to work for you. I want to make a difference. I want to help you achieve what it is you want to achieve. So, you know, catch the next video, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks. God bless.